Right.
All right.
So this is our first video vlog, Jody, Sean, in case you're just first tuning into us. And we kind of just wanted to talk about our great adventure.
Well, I was born on a cold, wintry morning. I'm just kidding. So, Sean follows a channel called Homestead How, and he kind of got me starting to watch it a while ago. But as we watched some of his videos, it's a family, and so the husband, father, his name's Carrie, he had been putting out these videos about the carnivore diet, and his results have been amazing, and we were just kind of shocked, like looking at what he was eating and like just the transformation in his life. So we kind of started to do some more research about it, and we thought, hey, this might be something that we could actually do. You know, I feel like a lot of quote unquote eating plans or diets or whatever are so I don't know, you're always hungry. I feel like that's always the thing, you're always hungry.
So that was a good lead-in. I'm glad you said that, right? So, so we were watching his videos, and if you like his videos, you know how YouTube suggests other videos. So then there were other doctors that he follows, that everybody follows, and I started watching his videos, and it all makes sense, right? So, and the reason why we were watching them too isn't just because, hey, that looks like something fun. And as you've seen in our other videos, we've really gone all out. We have our party pavilion, which is what we're sitting on now. We have our tiki bar, and we have videos on this stuff, right? And then we were making the Blackstone Cookhouse, but instead of cooking inside, we made the lean-to where we have our
Charcoal.
yeah, all of our, like our chud box, our Weber kettle, and all the other stuff. So we have all that stuff outside. So we do like to barbecue, we like to drink, we just like to relax and have fun. We both have jobs that are kind of demanding. So, when we come home, we just want to leave all the work, so we've been kind of living a lifestyle that, we've been gaining some weight, we're kind of tired, and
we weren't sleeping well. And I can say that that's probably mostly my fault because I'm a snorer. And so
the reason why you're snoring was snoring, right? So, and the reason why you were snoring was because of the inflammation. Right? And the reason why I don't sleep well was because of the inflammation that you get by eating certain types of foods, right?
Yeah, and my snoring was so bad, then it was waking him up, which then he would wake me up so that I wouldn't snore.
Nudge.
It was this vicious cycle every night, and we were exhausted. Some nights it was like, I can't take it anymore, and so one of us would go sleep on the couch just so that we could get a couple hours of sleep, because like he said, we have these jobs that we have a certain level of performance that we need to have during the day. So it was really affecting our lives, and we just thought, we have to do something, but we just didn't know what to do.
So that plus there were so many other things, right? Anytime I would eat food, I would get heartburn, unless we cooked at home. When we cooked at home, I didn't. So I'm allergic to glyphosate really bad, right? I'm like the canary in the coal mine. So if we go out to dinner and we eat something, wait 5 minutes, and then if I start getting heartburn, it's
He's
glyphosate.
Like, Jody, don't eat it. It's poison.
It's glyphosate related, and glyphosate is the main ingredient in Roundup. So we won't go too far into that, but I'd like to just vent for a second, right? So, our neighbor over here has 15 acres of Roundup ready corn. And I don't know if you know what Roundup Ready corn is. It's genetically modified. So when the farmer comes through, after it's probably 2 feet high, so he can still ride his tractor through and spray it, and he sprays with Roundup, and it kills everything. He soaks the corn plants down. The corn plants don't die because they're Roundup Ready plants. Soybeans, corn, anyway. So everything's dead over there except for the corn. The corn's thriving.
Yeah.
And it's actually pretty scary to think that that corn is fed to all kinds of animals, soybeans and everything, the corns and everything.
Yeah.
It's
So once you kind of become
oh wait, one more thing. Sorry.
It's okay.
But where I wanted to go, why I get heartburn when we go out to eat. You know, wheat farmers have wheat, and when they grow it, in order to turn over the wheat pretty quickly, they'll spray it with Roundup to kill it all at the same time. And that Roundup goes right into the wheat, right into everything, so that when they harvest it, I mean, it's got glyphosate all through it, and that wheat goes into everything. So, you know, pasta from Italy doesn't have it. Like, just all right, let's end that just so we don't get blacklisted from YouTube.
No, all I was going to say was, you know, you become a label reader as you kind of like have these little things, the heartburn, or I was having some digestive issues as well years ago. And you know, you just kind of like start to read and learn what's actually in our food. And it's kind of scary sometimes. So anyway, so that's all kind of like brought us up to this pinnacle where we learned about that.
Yes.
What?
I was going to say some other elements, because the diet that we've been on has actually really gotten rid of all of it. So it was getting bad, and you know, right before we started this new way of life. We're not calling it a diet; it's a new way of life.
The heartburn was debilitating. Like he was drinking Maalox like it was water.
Whenever we go on vacation, that was like every night in the hotel.
Yes.
I'm just Tums or Rolaids, right? And when you eat Rolaids, if you don't drink water and rinse your mouth out, then you get the medication tongue. It's just anyway. So that's
so you can hear all of that stuff. So we were having these little things. My blood pressure was kind of in that borderline area. It's not high, you know, but just to the point where it's like, okay, I don't want it to get any higher. Let's just put it that way. So like all these little things that happen as you get older and you follow the standard American diet, then we were like, okay. So that's when we started looking into the carnivore diet, we thought, wow, this seems like almost too good to be true. We're like, you know, what do we have to lose, right? We could try it for 30 days and see what happens and how we feel. So we were actually planning on starting it. It was a Sunday, I think, was when we were gonna start it. But we were home from vacation on a Friday, and the more we talked about it that Friday, we're like, forget it, we're starting tomorrow. Vacation, so we just kind of like jumped. Yeah, he had some rough heartburn on that vacation. And, you know, again, like he said, we like to drink, so there was a lot of alcohol and probably not enough water and all of those things. So we weren't sleeping well. It just was, we were not in a good place, let's put it that way. So we thought, okay, let's just jump in. And so we did. And we just, you can look back in our videos, there was a Costco haul video where we went actually on our way home from vacation, because this was a big conversation that we had a lot on vacation to talk about, you know, doing this and how serious we're going to be. And I mean, we were very serious about it. We went through our refrigerator. people think we were crazy, the amount of stuff that we got rid of, because there was, you start reading labels and how much sugar is in everything.
Soybean.
Yeah, it's really disgusting. So anyway, clean slate. So we started, and probably.
Oh, you know what? We're cooking a steak over there.
Oh.
Do you want to keep talking? I'll be right back. I don't want it to burn.
Right. So, we started on that Saturday, and Saturday and Sunday were good. Now, mind you, in addition to being, you know, on quote unquote carnivore, where you're just eating meat and animal products and animal fats, we gave up all alcohol and at this point pretty much all dairy. I think we've had maybe a slice or two of cheese in the last 2 weeks, but not much. And my beloved coffee. I did give up my coffee. And it's not like I needed coffee for the caffeine. I'm more of like a ritual coffee person. I like the process of making it. I like sitting on the weekends and drinking my coffee in the morning and just relaxing. Or sometimes like later in the day, if I'm kind of dragging, I'll be like, oh, you know what would be great? A nice cup of coffee. So, but anyway, I did give up coffee. We gave up all alcohol. And if you look at our other videos, you know that we make wine. So wine is a big part of our culture. So we love to tour wineries. We love to drink wine. We like to make wine. So it's that, as we've talked about things, the wine has been a little bit challenging, but we've been perfectly fine.
And the funny thing is, this past Saturday,
yeah,
we went with friends to Erie, and we were going to rent a pontoon up on the bay side and just, tool around, have some fun, spend the night at the Bayfront Hotel. But then the waves, it was like white caps and they canceled it. So we're like, well, what are we going to do now? And then we decided, hey, let's go visit wineries. So
it was like the ultimate test. We're only like, at that point, what, like 8 days in or 9 days in, something like that.
So we went and toured what, 2 or 3 wineries?
Yeah.
And they got samples. We just smelled. It smelled so good.
So we kept saying, can we smell it? Can we smell it? But we did not taste it at all. And the
urge wasn't really there just because this new lifestyle. Once we get accustomed to the lifestyle.
Yeah. But I think because we've felt so good, and that was far enough in where like we had already had some of these wins that we felt really good, that it wasn't worth it, in our opinion, to have a glass of wine.
No.
Can you have a glass of wine? Yeah, probably. Whatever. 1 glass of wine probably wouldn't have done anything. But, I think what happens too is then you've had your glass of wine and then, I'll just eat a couple crackers. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? For me anyway, because I'm very much a slippery slope type of person. That's probably why I've given up all dairy and cheese too, because cheese for me is like, I can't control myself, so I have to be very diligent about that.
And so that trip was fun. We did go to one winery that we absolutely loved.
Yes.
That at some point, once we get this lifestyle kind of going and we kind of understand, we will go back to drinking a glass of wine here and there, not every day or a bottle or 2.
Not that we drank every day, but probably more than we really should have, especially when we have so much that we need to get done around here.
One more story, and then we'll talk about more details of the diet. Not the diet, the lifestyle, right? So today we went down to Pittsburgh, and there's a shopping district called the Strip District, and it's a really great, awesome place. I mean, there's just vegetable vendors, there's meat not vendors, but store. Well, there's outside
some
vendors too, but there's storefronts that sell vegetables. They sell all kinds of meats, and there's all kind of ethnicity. Like you can go to an Asian market, and it's all Asian imported food. You can go to Penn Mac, that's huge. What were some of the other big stores that people might know?
Well, the Stamoulis is the Greek one.
And we used to go there and get olives.
Yeah.
All kinds of olives. And
they had this, that was at Penn Mac, the antipasta salad.
With big chunks of meat. And, oh man, that stuff was really good.
that wouldn't have been horrible, but it has an olive oil base. We don't know if there's any sugar in the vinaigrette or whatever it's in. So anyway, we kind of avoided that, but it's a great place to go if you're looking to kind of just get a feel of the different shopping.
So that was a test too, just like the winery with our friends. We're looking at them pouring wine, right? So all of our favorite stores are there too. Enrico's, they make homemade biscotti, and they make homemade brownies. Oh, I walked past that store and I was like,
he just wanted to stand in the doorway.
I smelled it.
And of course we parked right in front of it, because that's like, parking down there is like at a premium. So if you find a spot, you have to take it. And of course it was right in front of Enrico's, and I was like, oh my God. Yeah, that was a little bit of a challenge,
right.
But
Right. So, I mean, it's not like we're alcoholics or anything.
No.
We're just trying to make a point, right? And it's not that we always eat bad food and sugar. We were just trying to make points, right? Just to kind of let you know our background. Okay, so today is how many days?
Today's day 15.
So we've been doing this for 15 days. And what we've been doing, we cut out all condiments.
Yeah.
We cut out all fruits, all vegetables. And we've only been doing salmon, all kinds of beef. And you've seen videos. We have videos out there. And poultry, right?
Mm-hmm. And pork.
And pork.
Yeah. Some seafood a little bit today. We had some seafood. Well, aside from the salmon, we did some other stuff. But
would that be seafood?
Yes. Stop it. I forgot that you said salmon, but I meant like we bought scallops and crab legs.
Yeah, those were delicious.
Yeah.
So, and then one thing we learned today, right? Because this morning I woke up and we had some kibasi, so little pieces of kibasi, and there were some short ribs, little tiny pieces we had left. So in a in a frying pan with butter. We don't use any more seed oil because seed oil, there's lots of information out there. Seed oil causes inflammation. I did that with 2 eggs from our chicken coop over there, and that's kind of what we ate for breakfast. And there have been other mornings where I would have a piece of salmon with eggs and something else with eggs. But what I learned today is since we don't eat any carbs, we have to have meat with a lot of fat in it. And then if we make salmon, we put a lot of butter on it because that's what gives us our energy, through this plan. And, I don't eat red meat every day. And I think that's what the problem is that you need that fat when you're not having any type of carbs. So, I was starting to crash a little while ago, and we had some beef jerky, so I ate some beef jerky. Man, that brought me right back. All right, so we're 15 days in, and let's talk about some positive stuff, right?
Yeah, so I would say it was probably by about day 4. Would you say that's right? Yeah, I think about day 4, I stopped snoring. I don't know if it's a win for me more than it is for him. I'm not sure. But we're both sleeping like babies. Like, our head hits the pillow and we're out and we're sleeping until my alarm wakes up or goes off in the
And when
morning.
she said snore, it wasn't snoring.
We don't need to have a demonstration.
It was like a freight train coming through. Like the bed shook.
It was not that bad.
Okay.
But, I mean, anyone who snores know that sometimes you have those little snorts that wake you up and you're like, huh, huh. So that did happen. But, but aside from that, every time he would nudge me, then I wake up. But then the more that happened, the more tired you are. And the more tired you are, I felt like I was snoring even more because I'm so exhausted and I just want to sleep. So it was really rough. So once when we woke up, whatever day that would have been, Tuesday or Wednesday, and he was like, "You didn't snore last night." I'm like, "What? There's no way." And that was one of the things that Carrie on Homestead House said, that he stopped snoring like pretty quickly. And I'm like, really? Like, there's no way. They're like, really? I mean, you think most of the time the directives out there is, oh, you have to lose a bunch of weight and then you'll stop snoring. But, 4 days in, I was probably down, I don't know, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, something like that. Nothing major. So that was a huge win.
Yeah, so what was it? It was the inflammation.
Yeah.
And what was it from? It was either from all that stuff you put in your coffee. It could have been but from those breads.
No, I had a really unhealthy obsession with the low carb tortillas. It's not good. But I mean, who knows? Because we cut everything out at once, like it's
Everything
you can't pinpoint kind of what it is. And I guess, as time goes on, as we add things in, if we choose to, maybe then that'll help us kind of pinpoint what those points were that were causing issues. But I would say that's probably the biggest win that we've had is the sleep. Like, we're both sleeping really, really well.
And how much weight have you lost after 15 days?
So 15 days, I'm down 10 pounds.
15 days, I'm down 12, a little over 12 pounds.
Yeah. And I'm not hungry. So our eating is a little bit different, although it was interesting today, and we'll get to that. But normally, I've been eating kind of one meal a day just because that way I'm not usually one to eat first thing in the morning. I never have been. So I don't really even get hungry until around 11, and the way work is scheduled, I probably eat my lunch or whatever around 11:40, between 11:45 and 12:15, somewhere in there. And that pretty much holds me over, like, for the rest of the day. And it's usually, like, we will cook a bunch of things on Sunday, and I'll pack a variety of things. I could have, maybe a piece of steak, some pork belly, some bacon, some sausages, like whatever we have. I just kind of put a whole bunch of different things in there for some variety. And that keeps me full all day. So during the work week, I really only eat one meal a day. Well, today we knew we were going to be out running around, so he made breakfast, and I was like, it was a struggle for me to eat that early because I don't wake up hungry. Like, some people wake up hungry, I just don't. So, and I ate probably 2/3 of the breakfast, I would say.
2 eggs and
some of the meat.
and some cut up little meat that we had that were, I think they were rib meat or something.
Yeah, those beef.
It wasn't a
ribs or
lot of
something.
food.
No, but I couldn't even eat all of that. It wasn't much because I was just not hungry, and then I got really full. So we ate that, and then the interesting thing was then I was hungry come dinner time, where if I get home from work now, I'm not really hungry. Like, I'll cook something if we need some more food for the following couple days, but I might take a bite of something, but I'm not to the point where I need to sit down and eat a meal.
Yeah, because the food that we're eating just keeps you full.
It keeps you full. I think having the butter helps a lot, because that's it. I don't know what the word I'm trying to think of. It's like satisfying. You know, you feel like you're eating something so delicate or whatever. Like, oh, this is so delicious because it's butter, and you know, conventional things out there tell you don't eat butter, it's so bad, blah blah blah. But it keeps you full, and you eat. And for me,
and you need fat. Since we're not eating carbs, to have energy, you need fat. And butter with your food is a good way to have energy.
Yes. Especially if you have something that's not super fatty. Like I made pork chops one night last week, and they looked like they were going to be fattier than they were, and they were pretty lean. So I had one of those one day with some butter, and that was really good.
So let's do this so we don't make this go on too long. So, you know, my stomach pain's gone, my heartburn's gone, I sleep better, my knees don't hurt, my back doesn't hurt, I could get up really easy. And I've only lost 12 pounds. I want to lose at least 20 more minimum.
Oh, okay.
So we're doing really well, I think.
15 days, we're halfway. So we said we wanted to kind of reevaluate at 30 days. Like, okay, how do we feel? Is there anything that we would change? Is there anything that we really want to add back in? Is there, you know, for me, it's maybe an occasional glass of red wine and my coffee. But I'll have to change kind of the way I've been making coffee. So, not that I was but I always added collagen and some protein powder and some other things, MCT oil and things like that. So I probably would just do some heavy cream in it, maybe some stevia. We'll see.
You can put butter in it too.
Yeah.
I used to make coffee with butter.
So we'll see. Maybe I'll just do that on the weekends. I don't know. We'll just kind of see how I feel at the end. And it's not like I said before, I wasn't drinking coffee for the caffeine. And especially now, like, I don't know if you have felt this too, but when I wake up for work, like, I'm awake. And like, I noticed before we started, like, there are certain things that I need to get done in a timely manner before certain meetings happen. And I find that I'm much more efficient now. Like, I can get my stuff done in half the amount of time. Because I'm like,
so let's just talk about real quick kind of what we've been eating, and then, you know, if you want to follow us on our journey, we'll post way more often on how we're feeling, what's going on, and what we're cooking. And what we're cooking just might be shorts because, you know, we don't want anything to get too boring, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, so like we said earlier, we're eating beef, all different types, and we've been doing a lot of videos. So, and then poultry.
Yeah. We love the bone-in, bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs.
Cooked on the chud box.
They're
amazing.
so good.
And we're only using salt, right? That's all we're using on everything we cook is just salt. Maybe a little tiny bit of pepper. But I mean, we were big fans of the chud rub, of all the meat church rubs, but there's sugar in those.
Some of them, yeah.
But anyway, so beef, poultry, the seafood, you know, we've been doing seafood because with our eggs, we've been using crab meat and stuff like that, and then pork.
Yeah, so we do a lot of pork belly, some bacon.
Bacon burnt ends, smash burgers,
ribs.
Ground beef, doing smash burgers on the Blackstone. Look for those videos.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. And as you're doing, and it's funny because when we did smash burgers, I think that was that first Friday after we started, we did smash burgers. And it was really hot, so we were like swimming, and I, you know, part of you is like, oh, I just wish we could have like our traditional smash burger the way we normally make it. But you know what?
With the patty, with the cheese, the pickles, the mayo, the ketchup, the bun,
everything. But you know what? The smash burgers that we ate, just plain, I was perfectly satisfied by them.
We made pancake smash burgers, right? We piled up
We
3.
did.
They were so good. I mean, there's still a lot of fat in the burger, so
Yeah.
when you smash them down and you pile them up, I mean, they still have a lot of fat, and they're juicy,
Yeah.
and they're delicious.
We made a whole bunch of them, and I think each of it, what did we eat? Like 3 patties maybe each. Maybe
And so,
4. I don't
and
remember.
again, just salt, right?
Yeah, and it was so good. So I think, yeah, so what we typically do is take out a bunch of meat out of the freezers, because we try to buy in bulk, and then just make a variety of things, so that way we don't get bored either. It's like, okay, well, I sometimes will have some breakfast sausage, a piece of pork rib, a little chicken thigh, and a little piece of leftover steak. And that is good for me for lunch. I always keep some butter at work, so I have that, and I have my little salt shaker that I carry in my purse.
But I think what we're learning too is that we have to have red meat every day.
Yeah. And it's funny that he said that today, because I told him a couple days ago, I'm like, I feel really good when I eat steak. Like,
who doesn't? Big old thick ribeye.
Right?
Mm.
I feel so good when I eat that $38 steak. But no.
So we have 2 videos. Actually, one I'm going to put out today. There was a big Costco haul with all the stuff we bought that we started with.
Yeah.
And then today we had another haul where we did go to Costco, but then we went down to Pittsburgh Strip District again for different meats and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll put that one up so you can at least see what we're buying, what we're eating. No condiments. We actually threw out all of our condiments, everything, because we're never going to go back to that, because this is a lifestyle. It is not a diet. So eventually 30 days in, we'll see how we feel. 60 days in, we'll see how we feel. And when I say that, not that we're going to quit. It's just 30.
Because then you decide how strict you want to be at that point, like, or need to be, or,
And when we say strict, though, we're going to stay on this lifestyle forever.
Yes.
And what we think we might change is, let's add in a glass of wine and beef to counteract it, right?
Right? Because there's nothing better than a nice glass of wine with a good steak.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I keep thinking when we make these great steaks. I'm like, oh, I have a wonderful bottle of wine in there that would taste so good with this.
Right? So
we'll get there eventually. But I think, every 30 days, I think we'll kind of have like a reevaluation meeting, so to speak, that we can kind of talk about what we would want to change, or let's try this.
Just because of all the doctors that we've seen on the internet.
Yeah. We went to YouTube University.
Yeah, but we've done a lot of other research, and there's a lot of accredited doctors, and then you could see what they say and go and do more research.
I mean, you guys all do your own thing, and everyone has their own beliefs, and we are not physicians in any way.
We're not recommending anybody out there do anything. This is what we're doing, and we're just discussing our lifestyle. See your own doctor for your own diet plan.
And we, right?
I had to put
read
that
the
in
fine print.
That's right.
No, but like I think the proof is in the pudding, like, of how you feel. And it's funny, so if you go and watch Homestead How and Carrie's videos, like, his energy is contagious. Like, you watch him and you're just like, holy cow, like, he's firing on 10 cylinders. Like, he's
firing everybody else up.
He is, and he started.
We want to give him a shout out in case he watches this video, because we are going to tag him.
Yeah.
Because he motivated us.
He did.
One person. He's motivating so many people, because he has people on his YouTube channel as well. And we'll put his link in the description below.
His whole family too, some of you can go to his channel. He has tons of videos, but he's motivated not just his immediate family, but his brother, his sister-in-law, his mother. It's kind of trickles out, because I think people see the results, and if you were to look at his before and after photos, it's like night and day. Like, you don't even recognize it's the same person.
All right, so to wrap this up, so a few YouTubers we love that we've learned a lot of how to barbecue. Chud's Barbecue.
Yes.
Meat Church.
Yes.
Who would be someone? I mean, those are the 2 main ones.
Those are the 2 main ones. We like Mad Scientist Barbecue. He kind of gives you a little bit more.
Yeah, Mad Scientist.
Like, kind of like this.
He's a barbecue person. The theory.
Yes.
On when you're cooking something, what's happening to it, why you need to do this, why you need to put it this temperature, why you need to hit this temperature, because at that temperature you render the fat. And they talk about how you boat stuff with foil to make it tender.
Yeah.
And then one thing that blew us away is that the longer you cook it the right way, the more tender it gets. Where common sense says, if you keep cooking it too long, it's going to get dried out and terrible. That's not true.
Yeah.
Because you have to hit a certain temperature for the fat to render, so it's so juicy, it doesn't get dry. But if you don't hit that temperature, you got the big fat in there and it's just chewy. But anyway.
But I think that's why, so we got into the whole barbecue thing, and then when the carnivore stuff came up, it was kind of like a natural segue, because we've been learning how to do all these different things with all these barbecues that we have. We're like, this is perfect timing, because we like to do these different things and try different meats and different cooking methods. So it's worked out really well for us. And, I think having the variety of meat on hand that we've cooked, and, it changes, like, depending on how you cook things and whether you use certain kinds of wood, the flavor changes. So it's been really fun to do that. And I think that's kind of kept the whole thing. It's not like we're eating the same exact thing every single day,
Okay. So let's wrap it up.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
If you like this video, subscribe, maybe give us a thumbs up. And if we're going to be talking more about this new way of life, we're going to be doing more quick videos on what we're cooking, how we're cooking it. And we hope to see you there.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Have a good night.